Welcome back to In Ohio Country today. Big Dan Wilson alongside of Devin Dye, the land guy, and we're in Kenton, Ohio. And we're not talking about land today. We're talking about a very unique auction you're involved in.
Yeah, so our auctioneer, Mike Reindl, and myself, we got together and we're doing a year-end equipment auction this year. We had some clients from the real estate side of things that have some needs and they need to sell some equipment. And it kind of presented itself, so we came up with a solution, and we've rented the Kenton Fairgrounds or the Hardin County Fairgrounds this year for the week between Christmas and New Year's. And we're going to do a year-end equipment auction. We've got about 25 late model nice pieces that we're going to auction off.
Before we get to the specifics and we bring in Don to talk about the equipment, let's talk about auctions as a whole and what brought us to this point. Obviously, the land auction business has been very successful so far, so good for yourself. But how did we get into the auction aspect of equipment? What brought this on?
Yeah, so we deal with people that own land, and most of them own equipment. So the need kind of just presented itself. We, kind of put this out there with the auction side of our business. We can do, anything, household goods, equipment, land. We don't do much of the household goods stuff. But so that's how it came about, a need arose and we came up with a solution. And it was kind of neat. It fit it fits our business. It fits our business model. We do a lot of ag properties, and we had clients that have ag equipment. So here we are. We would like to try to turn this into an annual thing, where towards the end of the year we just deal with people that have ag equipment all year long, and maybe they want to liquidate something at the end of the year. So we don't know where that goes from here, but we'd like to try to turn that into an annual thing and see if we can make that happen.
You've been around a few auctions before, including equipment. So let's talk about the value for both the buyer and the seller in an event like this.
Yeah, so as far as the seller is concerned, you have a date that you're selling your equipment, right? If you have items that you want to replace or upgrade, you can take them in you can trade them in. You can do a number of things with those items. You can list them yourself and deal with the barrage of phone calls that you're going to get. Or you can hire us and say, hey, on this date, we're going to bring those items to you. We're going to have a sale, and we'll deal with the phone calls and figuring out how they're going to pick it up and, how much age the tread has and all the stuff that you're going to deal with as a seller, and stuff if you're a buyer you want to know. Yeah. So that's the benefit to a seller. To a buyer, the benefit is hey, I've got an item right now. Items are scarce. Right. I mean, it's hard to come across a late model piece of equipment, and we have a pretty good lineup. So if you're looking for something to replace something that you already have, or add another piece, check us out. You can find us. This sale is live at the Hardin County Fairgrounds, and it's also going to be a simulcast auction on ProxyBid. So you can go right to ProxyBid's website. You can just look up year-end equipment auction, and you're going to find it.
Once again, before we get to the specifics as far as the equipment is concerned, let's talk a little bit more about that value. As you mentioned, right now is a difficult time to find a piece of equipment, whether it's new or used, and the quality of equipment that you have.
Yeah, so we do have a lot of John Deere late model tractors. We have combine in here. And we have some grain handling equipment. We have attachments that go on skid loaders. So, if you're looking for something that is not really old and used and beat up, we've got some stuff here that you definitely would be interested in.
And the seasonality, like you said, doesn't really matter because it's available online. But people don't really have that technology. Not everybody has that kind of technology. And what happens if there's kind of like a break in their internet system or something? I mean, how do you handle those types of difficulties with an online portion of this auction?
Yeah, so this isn't going to, it moves fast. It moves as fast as anyone's ever seen an auction. But this system is tested. There's hundreds of them a day that happen on ProxyBid. So, the auctioneer, Mike and myself, we will slow things down a little bit to make sure that, we're collecting those online bids as they come in. You'll hear throughout the auction, online you're out, and a pause to give the online bidders a chance to step in and make that bid.
Joining us now is Don Cochran, and Don is part of this auction with Devin Dye. Don, let's talk specifically about the equipment that people can look forward to in this auction.
All right. We got multiple tractors, John Deere tractors in there, combine, some tillage tools, some skid steer equipment. There's quite a variety. We're up to about 25 pieces right now, so it depends on what you're looking at, but like Devin said, get on proxy bid December 28th, and you can see our auction list there and register to bid online or come to the auction the day of the auction.
And where is the equipment coming from?
Most of the equipment's coming from one client. We have had a few pieces that we're putting in from other clients that know that we're doing this. They've asked, hey, I've got a piece here or there that I want to put in, and so we're able to put a few other pieces in, but most of it's just from the one client.
Don, we spoke with Devin earlier about the quality. Why don't you talk about the quality of this equipment?
From what I've seen on the equipment, there's some low-hour equipment. There's a tractor in there that's got quite a few hours on it. But overall, I think the equipment's in pretty good shape. The client that we're working with does a pretty good job of keeping up on their equipment, keeping it clean, keeping it maintained. So I'm pretty happy with the quality of equipment that we've got in the sale.
Don, we've interviewed you on a podcast before. Talk about the experience, how important it is to have somebody like yourself and Devin involved in an auction like this.
For me, it's a huge deal. I grew up on the farm, been on the farm all my life, and I spent some time working at a John Deere dealership. So I have a little bit of background with this equipment and can look it over and maybe have a little better perspective of the condition it's in because of my previous experience. And that I think that just adds to the quality of service that we provide with Devin doing the actual auctioning and me having the ag background and being on the farm.
Yeah, so you could speak firsthand as far as being experienced as far as utilizing the equipment and selling the equipment in the past. So when you get to this point too, what would you say? How would you sell this to somebody to be here? Why is it important for them to be a part of this auction if they're looking for a piece of equipment?
Like Devin said earlier, there just isn't a lot of available equipment out there right now, new or used. The way things are in the world right now, it's just tough to find a piece of equipment. And being able to come and look at this equipment in person, look it over yourself, read all the details of what we've got in and on the equipment so that you know hours, how long ago the iron's been changed on planters and so on. I mean, it's great that it's available this way and people can really come and check things out.
And once again, why don't you give us the website where people can go to get that complete lineup of the equipment involved in this particular auction?
So we've got it on proxy bid December 28th, and it's end of year auction. You can get on there, register to vote. You can bid. You can bid ahead of time, or you can come to the day of the auction and bid in person and be able to view most of the equipment right there that day.
Back with Devin Dye now, and Don just shared with us as far as the equipment list is concerned. Let's talk specifically about this event. People still interested in doing an auction or maybe participating in this particular auction might still have some time when they see this particular broadcast.
Yeah, so we're kind of getting to the deadline where we'd like to have your equipment if you want to put a piece in this, if you're looking to upgrade or, get rid of something. We can still take that piece of equipment. You can reach out to me at 419-303-5891, and then I'll just put you in touch with Don, and he can meet with you and get that equipment, described and pictured. But time is of the essence a little bit on that. But if you're interested in doing one yourself, yes, having your own auction or, putting something together later next year, you can also reach out to myself. Again, the number's 419-303-5891. I think this is just a great way to showcase your piece of equipment, The thing I want to emphasize the most about that is we are on platforms that reach technically worldwide, but definitely across our country. And, if you have a piece of equipment that you're wanting to get in front of people that aren't local, we can make that happen. We can solicit bids from all across the country. And in today's world, we're seeing a lot of equipment trade, not just in our state, across several states. So if you're interested in doing that, reach out to me and we can put a proposal together for you.
Devin Dye, the land guy, knows the land because he lives it every day. But we've got to throw equipment in there too, because this is going to be a great addition to the services you provide.
Yeah, we think it fits hand in hand, with what we already do. And we're excited about this. We launched the auction side of our real estate business this past year, and we're 8 deep already. So that's kind of cool and exciting. But this, we kind of look for the same thing to happen, to start doing this, and people use us, and we try our best to serve our clients the best way we can, and hopefully good comes of it.
We want to thank Don Cochran, also with Devin Dye, for this particular feature story. And once again, if people want more information about the event, where do they go?
So there's a couple places. You can go to Proxy Bid and look up December 28th auction, year-end equipment auction, or you can go to Auction Zip and check out all the pictures, all the descriptions, anything you need. And Don Cochran's phone number's on there for any questions that you may have about the equipment specifically. If you call me, I don't know the equipment, like the back of my hand like Don does, but you want to reach out to him if you have any questions about that.
Devin, thanks again for joining us.
Thanks, Dan.
And we'll be back with more In Ohio Country Today right after this.